Okay, on to the next one. We're going to do a harissa sirloin with herbed couscous, sauteed fava beans, and Cippolini onions. Now, fava beans, we only have a very, very short season here in the Kansas City area, and we're coming upon it quite quickly. So fava beans come in a very, very large pod, and inside that pod are these little guys that look like lima beans. So those of you who dislike lima beans, hopefully you will like fava beans because they're a little bit milder in taste as well as texture. So once you pop the fava beans out of the pod, you're going to take these beans and you blanch them in order to get the shell off. So that means that you take boiling water, put these beans in, and as soon as it comes back to a boil, or as soon as you see the color of these guys change, you take them out and put them in an ice bath, so ice water. And after that, you should be able to take this little tiny pod off. Just make a little hole, and then you pop out the rest of the bean. So it's not, it's a little bit time consuming. I will tell you, so if you see any fava bean plates in a restaurant and you're like, how can that be so expensive? Just wait till you prep it out. You will know why it's so expensive. But couscous is extremely easy to make. It is one of those things that you can make ahead of time as well. So we have our pot of water that's going to be getting ready to boil. Add a little bit of salt to it. And your ratio is going to be 2 to 1, 2 parts water, 1 part couscous. And I don't honestly think that there is any couscous that you can buy in your market besides maybe Whole Foods that isn't instant couscous. So it takes about 5, maybe 10 minutes to cook, if that. It's just a semolina wheat, big tiny little pasta. So once that comes to a boil, we're going to just pour it in and stir it, turn off the heat, cover it, and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and it should be nice and fluffy. So for your steak, let me explain harissa or harissa, however you would like to describe it. It is a Mediterranean ingredient. It is a chili paste. You can make it yourself if you would like to, but it's much quicker and much faster to buy it from a Mediterranean market. We went ahead and made it ourselves, so I can tell you what's in it. It is your chili peppers, maybe a little bit of roasted red pepper, garlic, cumin, salt, and that's pretty much it. So it's not too difficult. You can put it in a RoboCoupe or a food processor, and you have paste that you can stick in your refrigerator for quite some time and keep it on hand. But it does come in jars or little tubes, and it's very flavorful. So what we have in here are all of those things, probably plus some cilantro and some herbs, because I'm a very herbaceous lover. And we have this beautiful sirloin sitting in front of us. It's from Dodge City Beef this evening. They are so gracious to be a sponsor for us tonight. And I want to take a minute to talk a little bit about them. They are right outside of Dodge City. All of their cows are their cows. They don't purchase any of their cows from any auctions. And they are grass-fed. The only time that they eat corn is in the wintertime, obviously, because they would like to, have them nice and healthy when spring rolls around. So they have a consistent quality. You might have seen them at the Old Town Urban Park Market, or they've just opened up a shop in Shawnee off of Johnson Drive. So they're literally right down the way from the castle. I just started using them about 2-3 weeks ago, and I've already gotten a lot of compliments on just the quality that they have in their steaks. So tonight I am using sirloin. You're more than welcome to use this marinade or rub with any type of beef. You can also use it on chicken or fish. Just kind of, feel free to use it however you want. All right, so we are just going to pour this over the top and kind of let it sit. Let it marinate and mingle and talk to each other and get to know each other before we sear it on the grill. Our water is getting ready to boil, which makes my life a lot easier. And I'm sorry?
Do you do any tenderizing on the steak?
You are more than welcome to do tenderizing. Their steak is dry aged for about 3 to 4 weeks, so it's pretty tender to begin with. But if you're worried about it, go ahead. Just kind of take a little mallet and hammer it just a touch, and it should be okay. All right. So we are to the point where we can add the couscous. So you want to get this stirring so it won't stick together, and just kind of pour it right on in. Perfect. A bit more. And cover it. That's couscous. Awesome. For the vegetables, in addition to the fava beans, I do have Cippolini onions, which are these tiny little cute onions. They're very delicate and sweet. They shouldn't make your eyes, water or anything along those lines because they are so delicate. And I am going to need to cut them in a couple pieces.
What market that we can get to have these?
You can go to Whole Foods, also the Costantino's in Brookside. We'll have them. And they're just very cute. I like them a lot. And they caramelize very easily. I'm going to take a couple of these. Do it right now. And so you're not waiting too terribly long. I have made some sorbet for you. It is strawberry sorbet with rhubarb pickles. So, if any of you are rhubarb fans, it is in season. And we have a recipe to hand out to you for these rhubarb pickles. And they're very easy to make. After you get these all nice and sliced, you are going to want to heat a large sauté pan with some ghee or clarified butter. That you can make in your home. All you have to do is take whole butter, turn your burner on about medium-high heat, and it'll foam just a little bit, and that's the milk solids. All you just want to do is skim that off. And you'll have just the just the butter fat left. And what that does is, first of all, it keeps it from going rancid. And also, it lowers the smoke point, so you can saute at a higher temperature. And it's just flavor. Not gonna lie. And that's another thing you can keep in your refrigerator for weeks, as long as it's sealed tightly. All right, I think that's gonna be good for our onions. I think I'm okay with it. And since we have kind of two smaller pans, I'm just gonna use both of them on this lovely wolf range, by the way. And this is my clarified butter. Add to that. And whenever a recipe calls for onions and garlic, always add your onions first. They take a little bit